Good in, folks. This is Darth Ravage07 coming to you today with part 4 of the Haslab Ghost. So tickled that y'all have stuck with me this far. We're going to get this turned around real quick. Merry Christmas again, everybody. And thanks again, like I said, for sticking with me. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, all the stuff down below. Help my channel continue to grow, guys. Thank you so very, very much. Let's take a look at some comparisons real quick, show you where my ghost journey began back in 2015 and where it is ever since I know about the Haslab and what's going on since then. Bear with me, guys. Back in 2015, a little trip in the way back. This guy was a Hot Wheels release of the Ghost. And you have, I guess, the Phantom one that is kind of, this is all die cast and a little ring thing for little fingers and stuff. And that was my very, very first Ghost. It sat in my office up at the castle when I worked IT work. Then we fast forward 9 years later, and they mentioned that there's this big Haslab coming, and then Micro Galaxy Squadron was making their Ghost. Let's get that out here next and show you how that little die-cast piece, and that's a lost art, by the way, pales in comparison to Micro Galaxy Squadron's offering of the Ghost. And they released the Phantom separately. They released the Phantom 2 separately. The Ghost came in a $60 package. It has light, sounds, motion control, motion control. It's got like different motion sound effects that go into it, lights and sounds that come lighten up and what have you. It comes with retractable landing claws. This review is out there as well, guys, in my channel. Go check it out if you haven't seen it. Beautiful black wash throughout, whatnot, but both the Phantoms didn't get it. I had the $100. I think it's 100. I can't. It might even be more. It might be less. Amazon had a bundle. Had it pre-ordered like pretty much since I had this guy in hand. Buddy of mine, Ultra Megatronus, didn't understand, why I wanted to do it. It comes with 2 Y wings that helps, unite the Phoenix Squadron. It also came with the Phantom 1, and it had a battle damage deco that I liked having. That would like to have had that, but it kept on getting delayed, and finally I went to like Baltimore TFCon, and I didn't have the money, so that got canned pretty quick there. But enough about that. Go check out that review if you haven't. Very, very awesome package right here. But I also didn't grow up and needed to have this big fella here. Fast forward to here and this year, and there it is, guys. You got the 2015, summer of 2024, and then finally, right before Christmas, 2 days before Christmas, we have the Haslab Ghost. There's your comparison, how all my ghosts compare. Let's take a closer look at that big guy there and get his review done. We're going to take a closer look here in the cockpit, and you will see there is Ahsoka from the Ahsoka Vintage class in Harris seat. I just could not bring myself to open up the stuff, so I had the Ahsoka figures for a bit, and so I plugged them in. There's the Ahsoka Hero of Lothal, Ezra Bridger inside of the canopy there, looking mighty fine with the turret and stuff and the things, and you can do the aiming and what have you. Right below him, we're going to go on down here and take a look at this, if I can get this open right here. And I'm going to do this off camera and pan down. Now they got that open. You can see all the way back up inside of the Ghost there. You can see the ladder way back up in there. This I wish would have been made to scale, but like a lot of other folks, and I definitely agree, the figures are 3¼ inches have been absolutely ginormous. It's already ginormous enough when you scan back and boom back like that. But display options aplenty you have. And we're going to close this back up because I want to spin this thing around a little bit, guys. You can see I added the landing claws. That's the only display stand that you will have, along with whatever creativity you have. So I got landing pad on the kitchen table, and that's how it sits there on those 3 as I keep spinning around. So there's the magic behind the curtain there. You got the port side of the ship. The detailing is just absolutely beautiful. Love the way that the Phantom 2 becomes the dorsal. Space, I don't think you need all that stuff, but then it does get in atmospheric conditions. Hera keeps this thing tweaked up top notch. She is the best. And And I've got like all those other figures of the mural, but I don't want to open those for those reasons. You got some beautiful paint work going on. These engines just look immaculate, if you can see that at all there. And I adore the weathering that they did here, the carbon scoring, and then if you got the afterglow. So now, see, this is where I feel like Haslab kind of fails, where this thing excels. The lights and the sounds on this is top notch. They could have done something like this. They did this for $60 here with all that beautiful paint and then the model and all that jazz, and the little figurines that come with it. And we only got 4 figures here. Had to buy the other 2 only if all the tiers got met. I think that was tied to the actual 4 figures that came. I think it came with Ezra and maybe Zeb, and then like Kanan was a tier. Hera was another tier. Or I might have had that backwards. Anyway, you shouldn't tie your family of figures that's tied to this ship, which this is pretty much the home of the rebels from that show. You don't need to tie that up with a crazy tier system and stuff, and you don't need to have this overcharged. They could have did this and had the lights and sounds and bells and whistles. Here's the starboard side. There's 0 docking feature here. You have to take this apart, and you do get a docking feature here. So there's those little nitpicks and gripes, but like this thing is still pretty awesome. It's the biggest piece I own in all of my collection. It's the heaviest piece, and not necessarily the most expensive piece, because I think that goes to my Robeson Optimus Prime. But we're going to also take a closer look at that top gun now that we've went around the bottom, and I've kind of griped a little bit about it. But I mean, spend that kind of money, I want the perfection there. I want to move this in a little closer so you can see Zeb manning the gun, and he's actually got his hands on the guns, and then he can still hang on to it, which is kind of cool feature there. So that is just awesome, and it just kind of slides and glides around and takes out TIE fighters, whatever's ailing them at the time. So my biggest pro tip here, guys, is like whenever you're trying to go to take this apart, go ahead and pull up Zeb by this, and you do got an adjustable feature there. So depending on the size of the figure, you can adjust and get them in the gunner chair. And then you take this off right here, and then you get into the greedy details. And forgive my mess inside of the Ghost. I got the vintage Ahsoka chopper in here, and this is the other thing I want to look at right here. I really wished that this thing might have been just a bit bigger, where we could have the vintage figure in here instead of a stand-in with the little things that could break at any second. So that's another little nitpick I have here. But Chopper, all his attitude and sass, I love this guy so very, very much. Now looking back at the cockpit, once you get that off, you can kind of lift this piece up and rock it forward just such. And maybe, let me just get it off camera real fast so you can see the inner details and work. You got Ahsoka from Ahsoka in here at the helm there, where you should have Hera, and you got the hero of Lothal, Ezra Bridger. Nice detailing on the insides of the cockpit. The gun doesn't move with this, but the chair does swivel, and that's how I got him in. You just take and like lift it up a little bit and then come back around, and then you can adjust all of this as you see fit for the character you want in that gunner chair. And I just wish that had a little feature where this would spin in unison or what have you. I guess that had been too complicated. Might have been putting them over budget. Love the paint work and the details there. That is just some awesome stuff. And you can see back downstairs where in the front you had that looking up underneath there. Just plus and minuses across the board. Then we go back here. I've got lightsabers in here, some chopper parts in a baggie. I've got Zeb's gun down in there. I don't know if you can see that in their room or whatnot. And then you can take and lift this up, and you can like fit the figures in the bed there. And then you put that back down, just about as easy as, well, I said it's easy. Now I'm on camera, I can't get it to go. Boom, there it goes. You can do that to each his own. I wish that these would slide back actually inside of this, and it's just a missed opportunity here. This was never locked or fixed, a fix like this. Also, what's missing here, you have Zeb and Ezra's quarters there. But then when you go back around on this other side, and I got the picnic table, and I got Harris chair, the slats that go for the linen cloths. That's where I kept those as extra supplies for the rebellion or whatever, if you want to call it. picnic table. Got all that stuff kind of like stored inside of Hera's room. And the same thing with Hera's room. You should be able to pick this up and then put Hera in there and that kind of thing. And it's really, really nice what all they've done here. There's just a couple of places they could have added a little few more tweaks or whatnot. All this in the wing compartment is kind of like added on bulk or whatnot and is a missed opportunity. Like I said, this should be able to dock with something else. And when you get down back here, you do not have to like take the Phantom off. You can just rock up on this thing right here very carefully. Big $500 toy. You don't want to like bust it up or anything. I want to do this off camera real quick. I finally got this thing to come on up, and you can, like I said, keep that right there. I'm just going to sit over here on top of the other kids' Christmas is there. So this was a Christmas gift to myself, so I'm not waiting to Christmas to open it. I got my instruction packet there. Let's get that fixed. Just love showing this off right here. This is that same chessboard that's in the Millennium Falcon and so many things. The chair does like rotate around there for whoever wants to sit there and go work on this little panel over here. You have the picnic table that if we had more figurines there, you can like readjust this little thing and have like another stool there if you need to have another workstation there. You got Ahsoka kicking back in Hera's chair there, and they're just sitting here, and Chopper's probably cheating and talking about, you know, taking out some bad guys because he's very crazy like that. He's he's 8 gigabytes of attitude on a 2 gig hard drive with that head of his, and not very nice, but that's what I love, and I think fans love about Chopper all the same. Just love the way this looks together, guys. And then you got another shot again of the other side of the wall, that Hera's room and that kind of thing. Got that storage there next to the ladder. And then I got the bow gun and its other configuration there, laying down alongside the front seats there. Just a lot of great detail. And I'll try to zoom in and get to that wall. Let you see the details there. And then if you look in Hera's room, you got more stuff. I think that's where the Calicori, the Twi'lek relic that she has, goes on that thing. And then you can see the back end of the ship there, that zoom. Nice dirt and stuff on the floor. This is just a really, really solid package. But I really, really think that this is a failure a little bit because they only got 2 rooms versus the 4 rooms. So we're missing Sabine's room and Kanan's room. This ship houses them all, and I'd like to have seen, you know, another feature maybe where it kind of like went in half and expanded further to give that family culture pop thing. Let's take a closer look, put this stuff back together, and show off the Phantom 2 over there. Let's get it together right here. Get this stuff back together. One more parting working shot of my guys staged in here, because you can control the turret controls right here where Hera Station is. Focusing right back here on the Phantom 2, I did manage to get Ahsoka in here, and you do got, you know, little clamps that hold it in the bay there. Kind of wish this blue piece was the same color as this other material here, as it's a cleaner show look version. And I did manage to get Ahsoka down inside of there to man the Phantom 2, but there's no cargo bay or anything like you have with the Micro Galaxy Squadron. It had a whole bunch of other features that this one cannot do. The guns are pretty straight. It still looks really, really nice. And when you close the lid, it does close down pretty good. You can still see in there and see whoever the figurine is. In this case, it's Ahsoka in there. And you got that little Chopper bust that the top. This is just a little bit too small to have this Chopper here. Right there. Boom. A little redundancy, but then you got Ahsoka in there flying the Phantom 2. It's not got all the bells and whistles that the Micro Galaxy Squadron version has, but it is a Phantom 2 that can in fact dock with the Ghost there. Clicks down into place nicely, and then you can try to do some barrel rolls and stuff, but this thing is so bleeding heavy, and big, I wouldn't suggest it at all. Let's get this thing into some final thoughts and wrap this up. Get into some final thoughts. I got a little long-winded with this, but I just wanted to cover all the things that I liked and didn't like, and I hope it, if you're going for this in aftermarket, it's going to be really expensive. This was $500 when it first came out. It's a dream piece. After I watched Rebels for 4 seasons in the animation, and then we had live action Rebels. I mean, Ahsoka come, out there on Disney Plus. This was all definitive no brainer for me. It was an easy. It was easier than breathing kind of thing. Pull, purchase, whatever you want to call it. And I don't know why it's not sent flush. It's kind of one of the other aggravations I have with the way they've done this or whatnot. Could have been done better, of course. And certainly for $500, you could have had some lights and sounds, bells and whistles, and maybe a little bit more scale to where you could do the stuff like in the show. But you got plenty of storage space for the accessories. There's a ton of accessories that come in those single carded, no peg hole mural figurines that come with this. That therein, I didn't want to open those. I got these other ones. I'll just get some more of their older figures until they eventually will release the mural figures into the vintage collection at a later time. So I'll just be patient and hopefully grab that. I've seen the whole set of figures for this go for insane prices, and I'm not out to go and sell any of this at all. This is for my collection. This is for me, and I am so tickled that I have it finally in my hands. Didn't like the wait time. Don't think Haslab is a good, business practice moving forward, and I'm tickled with it. This will probably be the last of the big things I get for Star Wars vehicles. This is the biggest thing, unless, is the cell? I couldn't tell you if the cell barge is bigger or the Razor Crest. I don't got that stuff. Can't speak for it, but this thing is pretty big. It's pretty heavy, and that box was just right here off the side of the table there. But really, really do love my Ahsoka Haslab Ghost. This thing is really awesome. I'm so glad I got the Micro Galaxy Squadron, and I still even got the little guy from 9 years ago, getting ready to be 10 years. Man, where's time gone? So glad that I got caught up with this, and I need to go back and finish watching the Clone Wars. Watched that last season of Clone Wars. Loved it. Loved the Bad Batch. Got to finish watching Bad Batch now. I'm thinking about it. Man, I'm in the Skeleton Crew, and tonight is only Monday night, so tomorrow night's the next episode of that. Thank you again for sticking through me through my long-winded finale here, part 4, and getting this out here. Thanks again for watching my channel, guys. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, all the stuff down below. Thank you again for watching. That's going to wrap up the Haslab Ghost.